Module 10, Relational Summary Lecture, GWE2, No More Bullcrap. This lecture is about cows and cow pies and bulls and bull crap, and not just the crap from the livestock, but also about the crap that we're directly responsible for after every meal. And when I'm talking shit, I mean it ecologically. We can leave the other kind of bull hockey for the politics sections of this course. So what is it about cows that makes them such a problem, particularly here in the Wild West, cowboy? With regards to climate change, of course, the issue is the methane that they belch out. Now, some people say farting cows are the problem, but most of the methane is coming out of their mouths, not their butts. Little known fact. Regardless, the CH4 molecule is said to be 23 to 80 times more potent as a greenhouse gas than mere CO2, depending on who you ask and how they calculate. So when scientists initially calculated the global warming potential of the number of molecules of CH4 that an average cow emits per day, roughly 500 liters worth a day, by the number of cows in the world, roughly 1 billion or 1/8 of the number of humans, it seemed to be catastrophic. The BBC reports, quote, "The average ruminant produces 250 to 500 liters of methane a day. Globally, livestock are responsible for burping and a small amount of farting, the methane equivalent of 3.1 gigatons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere annually," end quote. Now, forget the fact that we humans also fart and belch, releasing approximately 0.12 kilograms per day of methane. Each of us releases approximately 1,000 times less methane than your average heifer. So even though there are roughly 8 times more people than cows on the earth, we still aren't considered problems yet. Well, I mean, concerning the methane that comes out of our butts, I mean. Our release of fossil methane, of course, is another story. According to a recent article in Science, the background leakage of methane from all non-human sources really doesn't make that much of a difference. Quote, "In a second study, the same team harvested ice from Greenland to estimate how much modern atmospheric methane comes from leaks in extraction operations and pipelines versus natural geologic seeps from the Earth. Because both types lack carbon-14, the scientists compared levels of carbon-14 depleted methane from the 1870s with levels from when the fossil fuel era was in full swing, in the decades leading up to the 1940s. Now, later years were avoided because they're skewed by nuclear weapons testing, which boosts carbon-14 levels. The data reveal that levels of carbon-14 depleted methane were much lower in the 1870s. And that means modern geologic sources of methane are much smaller than previously estimated, and that the big jump came from humans, they reported this week in Nature. They estimate annual geologic methane emissions at about 1.6 million tons, dramatically lower than recent estimates of between 30 million and 60 million tons per year. Methane released from all sources totals approximately 570 million tons a year. And that's from sciencemag.org. The thing is, this field of climate change is very dynamic, as all sciences are. Just the other day, a study was cited in an article called "New Methane Math Could Take the Heat Off Cows." The issue is that methane rapidly degrades in the atmosphere. It isn't persistent like CO2.